What's up?
Hello.
I mean, go live would have been if you need to only lose like 2 minutes. That graphic the whole time load up. Too many necklaces.
All right, welcome to the first episode of New Orleans by Night. I am Michael, pronouns he, him. I will be storytelling. If we want to go in the order I put y'all in chat, introduce yourselves, and then we'll wait for Brandon to get back.
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Hallie. Jalapeno on most social medias. She, her. Yeah, I just do TTRPG stuff on social media and design video games.
Hi, friends. My name is Laura Tutu, pronouns she, hers, she, they. You'll find me as Tutu Who on Twitter and TikTok. Very much excited to hang out with these people and play it being vampires. This is something I've been looking forward to for a minute.
Yeah, Brandon will be extra. I did not catch it was jalapeno on there because I was sort of pronouncing it like some sort of a last name thing. I was like, I didn't know how quite to.
Hallie
makes
Pino.
So much more sense.
A lot of people don't realize it until like I'm the one to say it out loud and they're like, wait a second.
Hold on a minute.
Should have realized that. Yeah, we have a little bit of some character creation stuff to finish up. The one thing we can do is on the relationship map. And on the stream over here, let me. One on the stream is I've got the Millinote up so people can see. The fact that Brandon found out you can actually throw the pictures in there was awesome.
I need to get my shit together on this then.
Art Breeder is kind of cool. But
it's a rabbit hole with Art Breeder.
Oh my god, yeah. I've made a whole bunch, downloaded stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I can use this for my other campaigns. I got yelled at in my mask game for making the detective they've had to work with too hot. Like, I apologize.
Oops.
Yeah, when he gets back, what we'll do is discuss kind of the character relationships, go over stuff about the domain, spend those points so we kind of know how well you're situated in New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't know about anybody else, but like legitimately my first thought when it comes to vampires in the US is New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Cannot help it.
I watched too much Interview with a Vampire as a kid, so
like legitimately it's like a formative movie for me,
it is.
which should surprise nobody. Not a single goddamn one of you should be surprised.
I for years I know you've been a big fan of Queen of the Damned.
That too.
Which I've not seen.
Garbage, but I love it.
I know the main guy from it was supposed to be Aragorn.
Oh my!
What?
That I did not know that Viggo Mortensen was supposed to be Lestat.
No. It wasn't. It was the guy who played. I think it was. No, it was Queen of the Damned.
Mm.
You got who's the guy that's in that? Stuart Townsend. Stuart Townsend was the original. He was the original Aragorn.
Oh! So he was supposed to play Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
He actually shot for a couple. Like they did all the rehearsals and then they got into the shooting and they're like, yeah, this isn't.
Wow.
Oop. Well, I mean that's fair.
How much would that suck?
Oh my god.
Well, while we're waiting, do you two want to describe the characters that you have created? Your vampires?
Hals, go ahead.
Okay. So I am playing Celeste Corvo. She is a Tremere. She mostly deals with the mystical arts. She lives in a library basement where she, studies those, but she uses her blood sorcery to essentially start a cult following around her. Which has led to a stalker or two, an accidentally haunted house.
Because of said stalkers.
Yep.
It
very chill, doesn't seem to care much about anything in particular, and yeah, I don't really. That's a good rundown of her so far.
It's a good rundown. Good rundown. Well, the character that I have built for this chronicle is Maxine Boudreau. She's a local girl. Grew up just outside of New Orleans until it was decided by her sire that she was just too lovely to be wasting away in the bayou. She got turned against her will, realized the kind of power that it gave her, and decided to flaunt it all around the city. She currently runs a burlesque club known as the Domina Club. And she currently lives above said club because, well, that's the easiest thing to settle over when you run the place. But yeah, she is stubborn and a little mean and does not take being told what to do.
So we've decided not to roleplay in this one, and we decided just to make an author self-insert.
You know what? You know what, sir?
Not saying I don't appreciate that about you, but I'm just saying there's not a surprise here.
Listen, motherfucker.
Sorry.
No problem. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Still
We
getting
got
settled.
snacks.
Those pies?
Sorry,
Hold on.
guys. I got in there and realized I hadn't eaten in like 8 hours.
That's important.
Yeah. Hi, sorry. I'm back.
Who you is?
Oh, hi. I didn't realize we were live. Sorry, guys. Hi, I am. My name is Brandon. I go mostly by Son of Asgard online, and this is my first vampire game. I'm very, very excited about that. Are we introducing characters here as well?
Yeah, let's meet your guy.
Alrighty. So I'm going to be playing as Meardak Connell Mac Hafton. Or as he goes by now, Connell Murdoch, who is a gangrel vampire who was embraced in 857 AD in the turn of the Christian indoctrination of Ireland. He's an old boy who's been in torpor for over 1,000 years. And he's very Ichabod Crane style has woke up in this whole new world with everyone he's ever known long gone.
A whole new world. Oh wait, shit.
And we're done.
And we get sniped.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, you fucked up, boys.
You keep doing this.
Looks like someone made a mistake.
We do this all the time. It's a running joke that there's a mouse-shaped sniper laser always on us. Yeah, Connell has very, very few close people. I think he's like the people he holds close he can count on 2 hands. But he's not he has somehow garnered some kind of respect from kindred society, and it's kind of like day by day whether he wants to be as known as he is. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Sorry, I should have said as well, he's a gangrel. Yeah, should have said that one as well.
Yeah.
Very, very excited.
And Max is a Toreador.
All right. I do know. So we have a few other things to finish up from before. So on the coterie itself, you have got 5 points in the domain. Tutu added 2. Brandon added another 2.
I did add 2.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that means 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 points. If you want to go on to page 196 of the book, there's a couple different things that you can do with that. There are 3. Essentially, you got your domain, your lean, and your portillon,
Portillon.
whatever that is.
Portillon.
The chase, rather. The chase, lean, and portillon. Chase is essentially how well stocked vulnerable or rich the domain is a hunting ground. So it can actually reduce the difficulty from 6 for hunting, which is a good thing. Because like 6 is the amount of successes you would need for a successful hunt. If it's just like lean is essentially how well integrated you are into the domain. Means you would know people, you would know the places. It gives you bonuses if you're trying to interact with mortals and other things besides hunting. And the portalon could be how secure it essentially is against disruption. Essentially, it makes it more difficult for foes to enter and be in that space without being known or stopped. And you can also buy certain like backgrounds, like if you want to have a herd there, if there's a communal haven, things along those lines. One of the first things you want to do is you want to decide for those 11 points, where do you want to put them?
Ooh, okay.
I'm just trying to find the rule book. If you just bear with me 2 moments.
Rule book.
You said it was page 196, yeah?
Yep.
We're looking at chase, lean, and porta potty.
And
Here
you
we
can
are,
also,
got it.
you can also
This
get
is good.
backgrounds with it if you want.
It's gonna be a general vibe for us, isn't it?
What
We're
are
gonna take
the
it seriously until we don't.
what are the clans we've got here? We've got Toreador, Gangrel, and
Tremere.
Come here.
Mir. That's it.
Hold on, I'm pulling up our PDF here.
Can we just talk about how hefty this book is?
Oh my god.
And even has like a pretty little ribbon to like mark the pages and
so
stuff.
Fancy, I love it.
Yeah, it does feel like it's fine because for its size, it is weirdly heavy for its size.
Yeah.
Because I've got bigger books, but a lot of them feel lighter.
Yeah, this is just I picked it up and was instantly like, oh, hold on.
So I remember
Yeah.
back before Games Workshop did the whole turnover to Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and the old rulebook for playing Warhammer Fantasy was like this. It was like you could actually take somebody out with it. Like
Yeah.
I have the visible sun cube over here. If you throw that at someone, you might be able to just demolish their head.
Yeah. I legitimately think if I yeeted this at somebody real hard, it could do some damage.
oh
That's
yeah, definitely.
That's
Or
how you
just
know it's
even
literature.
Schmack.
We're looking for page 196. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Page 198 by the if you type it in up above out of 430.
Okay. Here we are. Right, I see. Okay, we got 11 points to put into this. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
We need to determine like our size first, I feel like, and then go from there.
got
Yeah, and the size itself can be like it's not always necessarily like the physical size of it. Could also be a place where lots of people come through, so that there's lots of good hunting.
Yeah.
That kind of depends on how we want to go with the fiction.
like here's the deal. Bourbon Street is always ideal. However, there's a lot going on, which can be good and bad.
And Bourbon Street itself is one of those that's going to be hotly contested and like a
Yeah.
big camera, so it'll be somewhere. It won't be on Bourbon Street itself.
Because there is no way they would let that go.
We're too little for that.
Those Camarillas. Bastards.
Speak for yourselves, guys. I've got 3 points in status.
Where's my map? Where's my map?
I am popular.
Oh, I need to find my map. Good call.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Well, if I'm looking at this correctly, we kind of want to look somewhere that's got like a good herd score. So that means that there's plenty of people coming through it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also put pretty much anywhere we go, we can then alter what's there from the real world. It doesn't have to be building for building as far as that area goes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
No
Okay, so
hunting zone.
this North Rampart Street
Mhm.
right here, that section, we've got casinos, we've got the Voodoo Museum and stuff around there.
Uh-huh. I think I stayed there.
Ooh.
Was it
I know.
appropriately vampire-y?
I mean, let's be honest. The whole city is kind of vampire-y. Like you walk
I was
around
about to
that
say
place.
I've been in New Orleans once, and if I could describe the entire place with kind of one general vibe, it would be kind of vampire.
Yeah, it's a little vampy. It is the vampiest of vampy cities.
See, I just think Mardi Gras when I think New Orleans, but I've never been there.
But yeah, so
But then again, I think I might be the same way because I was only there for Mardi Gras. So I think I might only be looking at it like that.
There's also a cathedral there. So like that kind of hits all of our
So where at?
markers near North Rampart Street. Like there's that just few blocks of
Okay.
goodness.
Are you-
Oh, that's Bourbon Street. Never mind.
Yeah, if you're on the
Well-
Google Drive, if you want to place a marker down,
Ooh,
if you're on the Google Drive map,
I can do that. Worst part is I'm technologically savvy and didn't even realize that.
No, I stayed on Royal Street. That was it.
Okay, so we got the Voodoo Museum right there. And it's right next to that cathedral, and it's right near the bar and lounge, but I'm realizing that that's kind of
Is that button up right next to the
yeah. Because oh, that's Bourbon Street right there.
okay, I would
So
actually
that
say
should be-
let's. I put part of that area as because part of the thing is basically I think one of the things in the city you don't fuck with the voodoo community.
Okay.
That in general it's a thing that I'll know because I think they more recognize vampires more than
Mhm.
other folks. It's just sort of a general like this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
good idea.
Oh,
So that's one
Yeah,
of
we
the
don't
things we've
mess with
got. The no hunting zone goes partly. Now, granted, people will hunt in these areas, but this is that
Very
red
frowned upon.
that red zone in there is partly. And we can put it nearby there.
And if anybody else has any other ideas too, I was just thinking like it kind of hits all of our markers with the church, casinos, and
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a strip club and or burlesque club there.
Totally. I mean,
It
at
has
a
to be.
at a certain point on Bourbon Street, you walk down and it's just strip club, strip club.
This place
strip
sounds
club,
beautiful.
Strip club, strip club, strip club.
When I move back to mainland, I'm going
I
there.
want to move to New Orleans.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Group trip.
I'm going to be there for the honeymoon, so
Yes.
Actually, there's a little bit north on Bourbon Street. Kind of put you there. There's a blacksmith shop bar. 18th century pub with beer and daiquiris.
It's so good. It is. I think it's one of, if not the oldest bar in the state. And yeah, it's kind of like Lafitte's blacksmith shop bar is kind of like on the edge of where things start to get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like if there is a chill end of Bourbon Street, that is the chill end of Bourbon Street.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it gives us a little bit of like, I don't know, a little bit of
you
space.
guys have the expertise here, so I'll happily go with what you guys decide. I happen to be from the United Kingdom, so I don't have much experience with New Orleans. So
If you have it near there, there's Source AC repair. So if you need your air conditioning fixed, it's on that block.
Well, that sounds perfect.
Because we're totally
considering the fact that I sleep in an abandoned fire station, I think I'll be good.
Oh, that's a Ghostbusters dream.
But yeah, maybe like right on the edge, like of the like Bourbon Street, Phillip Street, Dauphin Street.
Kind of like in this area.
Yeah. Where are you, Michael?
I just put one called Domain because it is annoying with how things are arranged. I don't want to necessarily make it too much bigger.
Yeah, that corner.
and we'll be able to like draw in like the actual space later, and then drop some of the stuff that we want to drop in there. So how many points do you want to throw into those various traits for your domain?
Right. So I think it. I think that I think we should put at least 2 or 3 points into herd, because as much as if there's more people coming through, we're more likely to be spotted. If there's more people coming through, then if I'm thinking about it right, there's less chance that people will notice people who go missing.
Yeah.
Or they turn up missing.
Yeah, so definitely put like a couple points in herd. Any idea how much you want to put in?
I would just my personal thing. I would say like 2 or 3, but then again, bear in mind that this is my first vampire game, so I might be understanding it incorrectly. Is it similar to with like our backgrounds and merits and stuff, where the maximum you can put in is 5?
Yeah.
Right. So I'd say 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Let's go.
So let's
3.
go.
We've got 11 points, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So when it hurts.
If we go 3, then we'll still get 8 left for other things.
Yeah.
So we'll go 3 in here.
Okay, I'm going to do this real quick. Something should pop up on your screen.
On the
Hey,
the
there
map.
it is.
And I think you should
Okay.
you should be able to alter that. Like I pulled the herd background in there, so if we click on it, you can actually see information about that background.
It's telling me it's read only.
Oh, is there a way I can make it so that
All right. I see it. Cool. I got
All right.
this.
Yeah, I'll be able to add stuff if you let me know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think Hortolon is probably going to be the next most important.
Okay.
Um,
Let me have a
mostly
look.
because it'll be less likely that we get fucked with. Which, if we've decided to be this close to Bourbon Street, or at least that Camarilla-like zone, that might be important.
Portalon might make sense, and again, it ties in with because my character's got 3 in status, so the idea of like not being fucked with could be like in his area of the coterie anyway, could be because of his name being there. So I'd agree. Portalon will tie in a lot with making our characters founded as to our reason why nobody wants to come near it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also remember, your chase will make it easier for hunting. So that's also an important thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do another 2 on Portalone?
Yeah. Okay. I'd go with that.
Okay. So that takes us to 5. You've got 6 points left.
Okay.
Yep. Right. When it comes to chase, how big is the area we're looking at?
Some of that will depend on, because chase can be both like size of it, but it's also a place with lots of feeding. The size may be smaller than the actual, like, let's say you had 5 points, which like 3 neighborhoods or a large group of features. Like the right place with like a neighborhood or 2, and then a ton of people coming through that it's easy to feed on, could also be considered like 5 points.
Which,
So just kind of making it more touristy in that area with more points.
Again, like right at the top of Bourbon Street there, like where things sort of start to kick off.
And from what I'm looking at, it would probably be 2 or 3 again.
Yeah.
Because 2 is saying 2 to 4 blocks. and 3 saying 8 blocks on both sides of a major street.
Yeah.
So
The thing to keep in mind, it also will, like, the higher you put it, the easier hunting becomes. Though your herd can also help with that.
Because that'll be herd is people that are like drawn to us.
Followers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, you can slake your herd rating and hunger each week without a roll, which means you've got 3 points in herd. So you each week right now you could each get 1 point without having to make a hunting roll. If you go more than that, then you can have a problem with possibly lowering your herd rating.
I'd say I would say, and again, just from my very limited understanding of it, match herd. Main herd, match at the chase.
Yeah. You said you wanted the herd to match the chase?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so if you get 3 there, then that makes your hunting a lot easier. That means you have 3 left if you want to put the 3 into your lean, or if there's other backgrounds that you want to get for your location.
Oh, let's see.
Let's have a look. What does lean do?
Lean is like how well we interact with people.
This one's out of my range, guys. I'm a gangrel. We don't interact with nobody.
That's going to be important for Max and Celeste for sure.
Yeah, because you guys actually own businesses.
Yeah.
And that just work. Vampires don't come in late. Teach me, fuck off.
Shut up. Go away.
And some of the backgrounds like adversary, allies, contacts, enemies, havens, herds, influence, mask, mala, resources, retainers, and status can be bought with this.
Okay.
While they're doing that, Michael, can I just quickly ask, with the 3 points in status, obviously it says I am influential, I hold authority over part of the group, an average elder. Exactly what kind of responsibilities am I looking at with that?
It means you're going to be respected among the Anarch community. Here, like people will know you. Your word has Anarchs are less like rigid than the Camarilla, which has both benefits and negatives. It means that like you've got some power in there to use your status if necessary. People will also maybe come to you for help, for aid, for advice, or for your judgment.
Right, so that's just what I thought. Then it's like no real power, but like your voice is listened to, kind of thing.
Which
I look
in
a
and of
lot
itself
for ways how to.
For vampires is some power because that makes you it essentially means enough people sort of follow you if the Baron fucks up with the relationship with you, then that could be something to worry.
I look at ways that I can kind of draw from other things I've seen to kind of understand. And I was saying like I have no idea exactly what this means, but I kind of get it now. It's like in Warhammer 40k terms, it's like you're not a chapter master, but you're like Bjorn the Fell-Handed, who everybody listens to anyway, because he's just old as fuck.
You survived.
So I'm looking at the coteries types to possibly put points there. The Plumer kind of sounds like us. Birds of a feather flock together, and then social coteries, like where different countercultures or like a gothic or clubs all seem to get together for like a similar taste in like music and fashion. Granted, we have different fashion tastes and stuff, but like just being the type of socialites we've kind of become, that could be an option.
Well, and like even if Connell doesn't, I don't know, run with like the same sort of social graces that we do, like I mean, it's been established that he's come through and like helped keep peace at the club and
exactly. So it kind of integrated him into the
So like, correct me if I'm wrong, Brand, but that's what it sounds like. It's like he may not be like directly involved in the same like social ways. Like he's not there to be seen or be seen, but he's been integrated.
Yeah. So he mostly keeps himself like down low. Like he's only ever seen it like, as I said, the Irish pub that he works in, Scruffy Murphy's, or every now and again when there's a particularly busy night over at what was it called, the Domina,
Domina.
like
Mhm.
yeah, over at Domina, he'll go and he'll help out. He'll help out there as like a bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just an old guy that wants to live or not live,
He's
without
grandpa.
without being seen. But like, I mean, if he's not just going, he wants to kind of fade into the background, but he doesn't. If shit goes down, he'll get involved. What is that? Keep getting wee dust particles floating in front of my character. It looks like I've got orbs floating around me. And it's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah, so he's not. Yeah, he's only barely integrated into society, so it
He's
does
been
kind of.
unwillingly dragged into our social circle.
Yep.
I heard you're really old. Who else knows?
I'm
Why are you taying?
I'm picturing like the
Oh, no,
grandpa friend.
just let me get my fangs.
He's the grandpa friend. It's like
He
it's
is.
like our buddy Michael. It's like our it's like Goonie.
Jace? Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
it's Jace. He's the grandpa friend. He's an old
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
he's very much the.
He's the grandpa friend.
old
I mean,
man
it's
with
actually
gym body.
it's actually one of my flaws that I cannot take anything in any intelligence stat because it's all to do with technology.
Nope. I feel at some point Max tried to hand him a flip phone. He just kind of looked at it and stared at her.
Am I supposed
It's like,
to
yeah,
eat
this
this?
is how we communicate. What happened to writing?
It takes, honey, that takes like 6 weeks to get anywhere.
Wow, that's quick.
That fast?
Jeez, back in my day, we had to wait like 5 months to hear back.
I
From
hope the
people on
messenger didn't
front
die
lines.
along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope the pigeon didn't fucking die.
Hope the weather was decent. Animals weren't too fussed. You know, there's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Turns
So
out his
yeah.
mortal enemy is the United States Postal Service.
Mhm.
Fuck you. So he tends to just blend in, which I mean, if I'm looking at this whole thing of like, what you're, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, with the whole Plumer thing, it does make sense.
He has been accepted into the flock, whether he likes it or not.
Yep.
You're one of us now.
One of us.
Oh, it's the grumpy. It's the okay.
That's fine.
I guess.
All right. So yeah. So what? Let me know what else. Like, how are you spending some of the other stuff, or are there other things you're grabbing?
I mean, I think the other thing that we can put into this, it looks like if we're looking at Plumer, then
Kind of have it covered.
It has
Yeah.
options for what you could do there.
Yeah. I
How
mean,
much-
possible extras, adversary or enemy.
I already have an adversary.
I also have an enemy.
We're covered.
It says status. I've already got that.
yeah. The biggest thing right now
Um,
is you don't have like, and you don't have to have any dots in lean, but like lean and contacts will do similar things. I mean, lean just means in that area you know individuals, things you do there. You've got full contacts will be specific people that can help you in different.
We've got 3 points left, so we can either do 2 in lean and 1 in contacts, or 1 in lean and 2 in contacts.
I'd say probably 2 in lean would be the better
Mhm.
decision.
Okay.
At
Okay
least
for that.
that's what it looks like is the suggested for Plumer.
Yeah, then 1 in contact gives you a contact you can do or get something cheap or common for you. Example: we dealers use cards or car salesmen, things along those lines. Is there someone you want to have for a contact?
Who do we need?
Do we want to have a place in the drug trade?
Might as well. No, the sad thing is, from what I've heard, the weed in New Orleans isn't always the best.
What about
Weed is what I was told. In fact,
Hold.
told. I don't know what you're talking about.
From
what
these
if
tales you've heard.
what if the contact was, and again, I'm going based purely on UK logic here, so we have a vastly different level of like underground than what they have in the States. But what about if you're saying that to get something specific? What if we were looking for specifically like like fake IDs, that
Ooh,
kind of thing?
Fake ID would be good.
Handy.
Like, because then if and again, maybe this is a bad understanding on my part, if new vampires turn up of our respective clans, we're going to have to find a way for them to
Way to integrate them.
blend.
That's probably someone who get IDs, but also has like contacts like with other folks as well. Like mostly
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
for IDs,
Yeah.
like the small things that people need for kind of going to ground. It sounds like.
Yeah.
All
Pretty
right.
much.
All right.
Then that could also tie into as to how Connell is now integrated in because he now has a fake ID,
He has an identity.
a driver's license with no idea what a car is.
All right. Yeah. Then, kind of the last thing before we start on the relationship map, what you want to do is for you choose two of the other characters, which is easy to connect to. We've already got the lines in there. What you want to do is, and you can talk through this, have like one positive and one negative like relationship. Like there'll be some friction here and there that you have between y'all, but there's enough to keep you there.
Mm-hmm.
What is basically you can talk out what is a relationship between people. I'll be listening. I'm going to refill my.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking about this because I was like, right, I've got a link to I've got a link to Maxine, but I don't have a link to Celeste. I was like, okay, what do I do for this? So does Celeste look young?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
A baby.
I was thinking of like leaning into the whole like he's the grandpa of the group kind of thing. Like, what? So what if like so Celeste being like young kind of reminds him of like his daughter, but at the same point she's so vastly different from the youth of his time. He's like, this is so fucking annoying.
Yes.
What the shit?
like youngin. Okay, right, fine, but you dress really fucking weird.
I see your ankles. It's not right.
I mean, he was an
Yes.
Irish pagan, so the showing of ankles was the least of their fucking worries. The majority of their society consisted of, is that what you're wearing? Yeah, why? It covers like everything. But yeah, I was because like, obviously when he kind of came into the society, Maxine was the first kind of vampire they met. She did the whole answer like, "This is what's happening now. The screen has pictures. It's moving."
You don't know how to use the 3 seashells?
No, he is still pretty much convinced that communication runs via like carrier birds.
No matter how many times Maxine has tried to tell him otherwise.
You got him a
Mama
track
Lenore
phone
has-
and everything.
Mama Lenore has also told him you need to get a house phone, and he's like, nah.
I don't let demons into my house.
Pulled all the phone lines out of the old firehouse like by hand. At my house. Because he's got so he knows kind of Maxine for like helping out at the Domina Club. She kind of brought him the place into this little society and kind of got him situated in here. So like with Celeste, I think maybe like the positive could be like he treats her similar like how he would have treated his daughter back in like 847, but then because of her being so vastly different to the youth of his time, he's just like,
mostly disappointed. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Just like every time like she like speaks, he's just like,
Yes.
it's like if you could hear eye rolls.
Oh, I love that. I'm so
Awesome.
down for that.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, and if you to actually put those on there, if you just click on the line over on the left, you'll see label. Yeah, but most of you've all done this.
Yeah.
God, I could have used this for small.
All right. And then I guess Laura, what is our deal? Because I feel like there's gonna be friction between us just how our
Yeah.
characters are, but why do we like each other?
I feel like on the one hand, there's a level of friction because like we are probably both way too similar to actively get along.
Yep.
But Maxine is also very protective of other women,
Okay.
like on a principle. So it's like, I don't fucking like you. But what did you just call her?
I like it.
I'm an old
Hey,
old
whoa,
man.
Dipshit. Dipshit. I'm the only one that's allowed to speak to her like that.
And I realize I say that a lot.
I'm an old lady. I don't hear so well, so I'm gonna need you to repeat yourself. But this time,
Do it without
say
your
it with your
teeth.
chest.
Hey, with the shit.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. That vibe.
I like it.
One of the favourite kind of mindsets I've got is that every time that Connell goes to visit Mama Lenore and he's sitting eating food, she's like, just trust me, when you get to my age, and he's like, yeah, when I get to your age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Celeste would just like have like respect for Maxine that she would never admit to her face. Like she likes what you've done. She likes how you watch over and protect people, but she will never admit that to you.
Yeah.
Like, and no.
Okay, good to know. All right.
Pseudo daughter, constant bewilderment.
An actual pain in my ass.
There's like
She loved me.
there's like metaphorical pains in my ass, and then there's like literal pains in my ass, as in like she literally gives me IBS. I don't know how it's possible for a vampire to have it, but somehow I do.
Be back. I'm in the bathroom. Please hand me the spray and clear.
Is your bathroom reinforced in any way, shape, or form? Yeah.
An actual pain in my ass, but I will stab you if you mess with her.
Yeah.
Going from this to playing your girlfriend is going to be real weird.
Yeah,
Hallie.
tomorrow we have to be nice to each other.
No, we're on a. Oh no, wait. Well, I will need to look. We'll need to look at it. We'll need to look at.
Wait, are we like 50-50 right now?
Kind of 50-50 right now.
Yes.
Contractions are coming and going a little bit.
Oh goodness.
Oh my!
Oh
So
goodness.
maybe soon. Don't know.
Oh.
Aye. So we'll have to look at that.
Brand's
but-
life is literally about to pop out a kid. That's why I'm so excited. Literally about to pop.
Every day is a new level of fear.
Why have we done this?
Yeah, like when you put both our kids together, I've got a son and Amy has a daughter. So when you put both our kids together, one has ADHD, one has autism, and they just like. And so like every time they kind of work off each other, Amy just looked at me, looks at her belly, then goes, "Why are we doing this again?"
What have we done?
It'll be a great idea. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
Honestly,
It'll be fun.
I'm so over the moon about it. Like I'm like, give me more. yeah, back to vampire stuff. So both of us have the same general kind of reaction towards Celeste. Like, yeah, we're going to look after you. And then they step outside and we're like, what the fuck are you doing to me? Like,
Shut up.
it's like that kid that's going through their awkward emo phase and you're like, what the fuck are you wearing?
What the shit?
It's like if you could go back in time and look at your 14-year-old self and just go, what are you fucking doing? Why are you writing song lyrics on your arm in Sharpie, you fucking cretin?
Because I
You posted
am
the pictures
better
on
and more
MySpace.
interesting than the people around me. They don't know my pain.
Because I'm a real fan, okay?
It's not a phase, Mom.
What a face.
It's actually on League of Legends. There's a thing you can do, like when you set up your rune page for characters, you can name the rune page. And there's a character in it who's called Vex, and she's like this little Yordle mage who fights with her shadow. And she's like so doom and gloom all the time. And my rune page for her is called "It's Not a Phase, Mom."
God.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Okay.
But yeah. Ooh. Does things to purposely mess with Connell. Oh my god. Guys, the screen is moving again. Oh, that's only because the demons are trying to communicate with you. What?
I've hooked my phone to the Bluetooth speaker in the wall, and yes.
Oh, God.
Just starts playing Latin. He's like, fucking Christians.
Swear to fucking God, if he had a heartbeat, you would have given him a heart attack by now if you don't knock it the fuck off.
How many
Look at
TVs
him,
and
he's so
computer
cute.
monitors you think Connell's broke?
And what's Maxine's with Connell?
Oh, the relationship?
So,
Yeah.
we've got like the positive aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know about the negative aspect.
Poor Celeste is like, we're negative. If Chris will join us, or if Kendo can, like, they'll be nice to you.
I mean, I guess maybe the clash could come from the fact that they come from two very, very different clans.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the fact that they've led very, very, very different lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their real negative would just be like a culture clash.
Yeah, like I feel like every once in a while Connell will say something out of pocket and Maxine will be like, what the fuck?
Like with Connell's whole backstory and stuff of where he came from, murder and you know, killing somebody, that was much, much easier back then. So like, you know, somebody like, oh yeah, somebody tried to steal some tips from the club, and Connell was like, oh, kill, you want me to rip the throat out? She's like, no!
Can you not can you not say that out loud, please?
I will put the throat back.
It's once I've taken it, I'm only going to borrow it. I know. I'm sorry, I need to borrow your spleen.
But let's say
can
I
we not?
happen
we
to
not?
do it.
You don't need two kidneys.
I swear to fucking God.
A fact.
Ali, that was perfect. Two kidneys.
I mean, technically she's right.
Plenty of people have survived with only one lung, right? Right?
Yeah.
All right,
Actually,
T2, you got
yeah.
yours for Connell?
Yeah. So probably just going to be what are we just putting in culture clash?
Yeah. For some reason, the TikTok audio of like, what have you got in your hand? A knife. No. For some reason, that is the vibe. That is the vibe that I feel.
Yeah. Connell's whole thing because of like the time he's from is like he is so old, but he's also such a child.
Yeah.
Stop
It's
that.
like trying to put a wolf in a suit. Like when we bring him around to the higher end stuff.
You can put a tuxedo on a bobcat, and then it's not a fucking bobcat.
Tuxedo look great till you scratched behind your ears with your foot. All
I'm
right.
sure Connell has done that at least
He's-
once.
He's definitely tried at the very least.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to start off a little bit. We're going to meet the characters and a little bit of some of the dice rolling. 6 above is success on anything. For the most part, the great thing about it, for the most part, Fantasy Grounds will take care of a lot of that for us. But for each of you, I went ahead and gave you 2 hunger. When the night goes down, you awaken in your various places, which when we kind of get back to you, we will find out what those are. But first, make a rouse check. Your character has towards the bottom. Open Jeff the van. Right next to your hunger, there is a rouse,
Mm-hmm.
and you make a roll on at the beginning with that, basically to see that when you wake up, to see if you're. I get so confused. The 1 means 1 success.
Okay, because I rolled
Right,
an
okay.
8 and then it showed up as a 1. And
Yeah, because I rolled a 6 and I was like, what?
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking.
ooh,
Oh no!
So essentially, like when you use some of your powers, if you do a blood surge to like give yourself better stats for a roll, something along those lines, you don't automatically spend necessarily your hunger, or rather, like spend blood. It makes that a little more iffy now, which actually I think is kind of an interesting thing. But when your hunger goes up, that becomes a problem because you've only got 5 basically. At 5 hunger, you are essentially very close to like frenzy or going after the first thing that you can. So for each die that you have in hunger, anytime you make a roll, some of those dice are replaced with hunger dice. Hunger dice have on them, I mean, they work like a normal die. They have their critical successes. If you get a critical success with hunger, you get, what's it called, a messy success?
Messy critical.
Yeah, messy critical, which means the beast kind of has its way a little bit with making the thing you did a little more maybe destructive than you meant to. Yeah, it could give you some stains, which can affect your humanity. You might accidentally masquerade breach, have some problems with advantage dots for a while. Things along those lines, you do a little too much. Then there's also the bestial failure, where essentially you can lead to compulsion, sustaining aggravated damage itself, or increasing your hunger even. So ideally, you want that as low as possible. The only way to get it to 0 is to kill someone when you feed. So the minimum you can get down to is 1, unless you have killed someone while you feed to get it down to 0. So you will. Outside of that, you will pretty much always have a little bit of hunger gnawing at you. Now,
So cool.
So everyone now has 2, except for Maxine right now, who has 3.
Fuck.
The hunger kind of calls in you as you wake. Why don't we'll start with Maxine then. What is it like? Where are you at? When you wake up, what is this area like? This is on your club, I think.
Yeah. Maxine has outfitted the top of the Domina Club to be light tight. Some real nice high quality like blackout curtains, that kind of thing. Not completely sound tight because she does like to be able to hear the chatter and the music coming out from the street because I mean this is New Orleans, baby. That's what we do. But she'll come to and get up and realize, all right, so we're starting out on a rough night here. Might as well get going. See if I can't get me something to eat.
Feeling a bit peckish. Where is it?
I'm feeling a bit peckish.
Now, as I recall, you normally go from your subculture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can kind of get into how does your character feed. We can kind of role play through that. Then we'll see if other people are also wanting to feed.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably about to get going down at the club. Early enough that it's not too packed. But there's still a good number of people. This is probably the kind of place that stuff doesn't really get hopping until like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Anyhow. But people are coming in, having some drinks. The DJ's got some music playing, and she's gonna want to find one of her regulars.
All right. Do you have a name, or do you want me to come up with one?
Terry.
Harry.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let me make a note.
Yeah, Harry is down there. The music is sort of playing. Is Harry like a performer or someone who shows up to watch?
He would likely be someone who's there pretty regularly as a patron. Maybe he's been with the club for a while. Decided that he liked the place and is there fairly regularly on the big show nights.
Okay. Yeah, you see him kind of in the regular place, kind of giving a holler as the dancers up doing their set.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kind of cool and respectful the way he always.
Yeah. And Maxine will go over in the typical fashion and very much like life of the party, doesn't care about being um, subtle, but also wants to make sure that people are paying attention to the girls on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, but is awe another rouse check?
Yeah, basically using it because on the one hand, with your feeding, you can just make a manipulation plus persuasion check. That's your general. Like you can use awe if it's necessary. You probably try not to use. Very often, you try not to use your disciplines if you don't have to, while you are making it. I can also just double check real quick, but most of those should be. Rouse check makes a ton of sense for that because it's supposed to make you. But for right now, we want to go ahead and use your
Manipulation.
Yep. So it's your So the way that the rolls work on Fantasy Grounds, so you have manipulation plus your persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click on the little plus that's either on manipulation or persuasion, you click on the plus on one of them, and manipulation. Now go and grab the die that's hanging out next to persuasion. Drag that into the chat box over on the left-hand side.
Ooh, cool.
All right.
Oh, I didn't actually see what I rolled. That kind of flashed real fast.
Yeah, they actually then show up on the thing where you can at least see what those successes were. So in your general area, because we have yeah, hunting tends to be a 3. I think in this case though, you're in your own location. We'll go ahead and use it for now. Like sometimes that might be something you do willpower to try again, or to re-roll some of that. But we'll go for now. Yeah, tell me how you get him someplace where you can do this without being a problem.
Causing a problem. No, Maxine would just greet Harry because, oh, darling, it is just so good to see you again. You know, you are always so good to my girls. Have I told you how much I appreciate that?
Maxine, every time you talk to me, life is just a little bit better. Everyone around here, just fantastic.
Oh, bless your heart. And you know, I mean that in the nice way, not in the shitty Southern way. I'm not my mama. But Harry, darling, you know what? I have an idea for a new show, and you have been just such a blessing to us. Would you mind coming back to my office to talk to me about it?
Certainly. Kind of hops up and heads back with you.
Mm-hmm. And that is how she feeds.
All right. So in this case, what I want you to do is your choice when you feed. If you do a sip for a human, like 3 turns and something, you can get 1 hunger slaked. If you get the maximum amount of non-harmful drink, you can slake up to 2 of your thirst.
Yeah,
Move your hunger. So I'm assuming are you draining him as much as you can without killing him?
pretty much. Get down to 1 hunger.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's made sure to get a bottle of his favorite wine
Mhm.
before they head back. She's just making sure that he has a little bit as they're talking, so that when she does feed, and maybe he does feel a little bit woozy. Oh, Harry, baby, you know you need to slow down on your wine. Did you? You didn't have dinner again, did you?
I just feel when I'm around you, everything is, a little bit, just a little bit, life is good.
You know what? Why don't you go ahead? I'll make sure you get something from the kitchen before you go.
All right, and he kind of like heads back out. The bartender just kind of takes a look and goes, Harry, you doing okay? He's like, yep, and just kind of like sits down a bit heavy.
Yeah. Sweetie, why don't you make sure Harry gets the special before he heads out? You know what? I didn't think to make sure he had something to eat before I got him that wine.
All right. Yeah, and then he just kind of they go and they grab him something to eat. Let's go then with
And then I'm able to take the hunger down.
yeah. So take your hunger down to 1. Connell, when you wake up, where do you wake up? What is that like?
So Connell sleeps in like an old abandoned, like an old firehouse kind of thing. Very, as you said earlier on, very very Ghostbuster style. Like 2 floors kind of thing. Upstairs is like where the firefighters would have like hung out, ate, stuff like that. Downstairs like the old garage where they would have kept everything. And he sleeps up at the top end of it. The reason he does so is because it's like the old brick firehouses, so the rooms don't have any windows.
Mm-hmm. They can sleep during the day.
So he can sleep pretty easily. All the windows, he's not quite as affluent or as easy for material things as like Maxine is. So like he's literally just got like tins of black paint and just very very Underworld 2 style, ripped the tops off and just flung them at the windows. So he's going to wake up and he has his Famulus, who is a bobcat. Who I found this out from research. That the cat name Pusheen actually comes from an Irish word, Pushin, which means little cat. So his cat is called Little Cat. So he gets up in this like old brick, like hardwood floor style firehouse. Kind of walks along it. I don't know why I picture like every morning as he wakes up, or every time he wakes up as he walks, he just kind of like runs his fingers along the cold stone walls. Kind of gets on like his typical garb, which is like very very loose fitting clothing. Gives him a lot of ability to move,
Mm-hmm.
and then steps out into the night, so to speak. And he'll usually kind of like walk maybe to like the end, like until he like meets the main road with Pushin, and then Pushin will just wander off and do their thing. Like it's a wild cat. He has no it's not a pet. It's like a partner.
Yeah.
So then Pushin just kind of wanders off and does their thing, and he's just like, okay, I'll see you when I see you, buddy.
Okay. Is that who your ally is?
Yeah.
Is
So because it's a familiar that I start with.
Oh, okay.
First step into Gangrel,
Mm-hmm.
you can start with a Famulus. It's basically, as far as I understand it, something that I use to scope out shit for me. On Famulus, that's how we look. See, without the use of Pharaoh whispers below, giving commands to an animal. Blah 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 blah. It's part of my animalism, is what it's telling me here.
Okay.
I get.
Yeah, I was the ally thing. I realized I was looking at my Jeff the Vampire, the one I created, so I can double check how it rolls. Never
Jeff
mind.
the Vampire.
Stories. But Yeah, it's just like it's literally just something something I can have around. It's like a little buddy I can get to go scope shit out for me.
Okay. Are you trying to feed tonight at all? Or it goes off and out into the night?
I'll probably try and grab a feed. Yeah.
A wee nip.
Just something to take the edge off.
A wee nip.
His kind of favorite thing to do is to find people who look like they deserve it.
Hey,
Like,
man,
assholes.
that's just my face.
That's my face.
Like, he kind of keeps like an open eye on his little bit. If he sees anybody trying to, make other people's days or nights, so to speak, a bit more difficult, he'll probably go for them.
Okay.
Like, okay, I'm going to give you a real serious headache, buddy.
Yeah. At one point, is you're sort of do you feed on criminals essentially? A lot of times, looking for people who are looking to mug people or stuff like that.
Yeah, specifically like criminals who benefit by other people's misfortune.
Okay.
He'll probably leave like a wheat dealer or something. He'll leave them alone. They're selling wheat. But like somebody who's like trying to mug somebody. Those are the kind of people.
Especially those going after the like really drunk folks or some of the locals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, with Alley Cat, if you feed on criminals as sort of a dark knight of the streets, you use wits plus streetwise to find your victim.
Okay, so how do I roll that on Fantasy Grounds?
Okay, so yeah, on Fantasy Grounds, what you do is, you click on either, well, if you want to click on, say, the little plus under wits, that's right next to wits, and then grab the die from Streetwise, and then drag that onto the chat window on the left-hand side.
Okay, I got it.
4 successes.
Four
That's
successes.
more than enough. Like in the area that you're in, you've got, like I said, the basic. Your basic hunting is going to be a 3 in this area. Like 3, it's normally 3 successes. I didn't have you reroll, Laura, because we're learning how that stuff works. You can also spend willpower to reroll like 3 dice. I checked to make sure how that worked, which is by Jeff. Yeah, and the thing is, so you notice one of them has like 2 little stars underneath the arms of the Ankh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are that's a 10. If you have multiple 10s, those become critical successes, and crit successes give you like two 10s give you 4 successes.
No, got you.
Yeah, as you're going through, you see at one point there's just some guy just kind of looking. You see some tourists, which look like kind of, it's a nice family group of tourists. You've got some kids and such that look like they're maybe 16, and they're clearly lost. And the parents are like the kids are with them, and they get kind of like taken into like a darker street. This guy just sort of like pull out a knife and start making his way towards them.
Okay. So at that point, I'm gonna kind of like hood up. I mean, I say hood. He's got like a. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Like a kind of loose knit cardigan style thing. He's just gonna put the hood up and like wander down the alley. He'll kind of try and like sway a little bit, feel like, oh, I'm just a drunken guy, stag. Ooh, like every now and again, like fall into a wall, stuff like that.
He looks at you for a moment. I'm like, you're a big dude, right?
He's about 6'2". He's built, but he's built like a wildcat. Like there's quite a lithe build.
Yeah, you see, there's a moment the guy kind of looks at you like, but then kind of figures, like even hammered, you're a big enough person. I'm just gonna let you go. He's trying to walk past you towards where that family is, kind of going down. It's essentially an alley. They're like, is this where you're going? One of them's like, I'm gonna check Google. Okay, I'm gonna check the maps. What do you do?
As the guy is going to get close enough to me, that I'm going to kind of almost like go as if I'm going to bump into him, and then just try and like shove him up against the wall, like going from like 0 to 100 to like like boring into him kind of thing, and try and pin him against the wall.
Okay. And then feed that way.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
feed.
just he's like,
like no words, like words on this guy are wasted. So he's just like, yeah, fuck you.
yeah,
And
you hear from down the alley, Mom, look, it's fine. It just happens in New Orleans. Don't look. Give them their privacy. As they head sort of out of the mouth of the alley and then onto the street. Yeah, I'm assuming you're taking that sip to get your hunger
this
back
guy
down.
was about to prey on people that have got kids. He'll probably take it as far as he can without killing the guy. Like, yeah, I'm not going to kill you, but the next few days are going to be a real nuisance for you.
Yeah, there's a point where God, it'd be good to keep going and just like take your hunger completely, but you do stop yourself before let him go, and he's gonna be like just woozy from sort of lack of blood, but he's gonna be okay as he kind of slumps in there, still in that post sort of the kiss reverie where that feeling unlike anything else, or he's just kind of like and out of it.
So as I'm feeding from him, I would like to try and take, if it's possible, bear in mind this is my first kind of vampire game. I want to try and take any money he has on his person.
Not a problem. He's just like, like probably during the feeding.
Yeah, just anything that I think, any like loose wallets, anything like that, things that he's probably taken from other people. I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take his knife and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, like fuck, that's going into a bin. And then as he's making his way towards wherever his shift is for today, whether it's at the Irish pub or whether it's at Domina, anybody he walks by, it looks like they're in a bit of need. He's just like handing the money to them. He doesn't need money, so he's just handing it to them.
Yeah, they're like as you kind of go by, there's like a homeless person who's just sitting there. As you see tourists and such walking by, it's like, hey man, you got Jesus loves you.
Walking just under his breath. Yeah, Jesus can go fuck himself.
All right, and Celeste.
All right. So Celeste is gonna kind of wake up. She like I said before, she lives in the basement of a library. She's kind of sectioned off one little area with different old abandoned bookshelves and stuff. She's very extra though, with a 4-poster canopy bed in the corner despite the rest of the trash around her.
I'm an Instagram influencer. This is where I live. It's very interesting.
Oh, God.
Only takes a picture of that one corner.
Yeah, it's like never seen any other.
Connell's eye roll shakes the foundation
somehow,
of the firehouse.
Somehow he senses.
He knows. So an average night for her, she would, slowly wake up, put on her makeup, get all glammed up, and then head to her cult meeting. She is the Osiris Predator type, so she would start off almost, she calls it a gathering, but it's almost church-like in the way like she preaches and throws on a show of what she calls magic, but a lot of it is just smoke and mirrors. Occasionally she'll throw in like a little bit of blood sorcery to like just exactly. Before she'll eventually ask the audience if anybody, or I want to ask, I would just pick one and announce them as the chosen one for the evening.
All right. Now I'm gonna disagree a little with what it says here. It says manipulation plus subterfuge or intimidation plus fame. That sounds like manipulation plus. Do you have fame?
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like manipulation plus fame, and not like intimidation plus fame. That sounds like you're bringing them up because, or I mean, is your subterfuge better? You can use either.
My subterfuge is 2. My fame is a 2, so it really doesn't.
No, either one. It's up to you.
matter.
Like, I can see it. I can see it going either way. But I was looking at it going, if you put more into fame, that does seem like come to me because I am. not just
Yeah,
um.
I'll do fame today.
All right. So yeah, and the fame will work the same as anything else. If you click on either manipulation or fame on, or actually on the plus, actually it has to be on the fame in that case as your background. Click on the plus there, and then grab the die from manipulation and throw
Okay.
that into the window over on.
It's so cool. I love this thing.
Yeah,
Six
this is neat.
successes.
So cool.
Like it works so much. Looks so much better than what they had on. 20 was not
That's-
well put together.
Because Roll20 is a pain in the ass.
Roll20 is a pain in the ass.
This
Roll 20.
can be a pain in the ass if you don't have a system that is as set up as this.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building this kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. Using it.
Yeah, once you're used to that stuff, that's fairly easy. Now imagine kit bashing your way to actually make a system that doesn't exist on this. That was a pain in my ass.
Ooh.
Using Cortex, it worked, but I had to do a lot of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, 6 successes is not going to be a problem. So do you feed in front of the people? Is this a thing where because of the worship they think it's maybe something else, or do you take that person aside? What do you do?
I'm gonna take them aside into a
Mhm.
separate room, but make it like a big show of like showering this person with praise and attention for being the chosen one for the evening. And I imagine all of the incense and things I have put in this room are making everything very heady for
Mhm.
everyone. And but I will pull them back into a separate room before feeding.
Okay.
And do not intend to kill them, but
Yeah, and for you, you've just like pretty much just that sip because your hunger is only at 2.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't take it to 0 unless you kill them. So yeah, in that
Yeah.
case, you'll be good. Yeah, you sip and you have your hunger as slaked as it's going to be.
Yay. Yeah, and then I'll like herald them out with, like I said, praises and just, this is the chosen one for the evening. Take care of them along your way.
You're
Yes,
the worst.
yes. Some of them are like, when you see someone go, it's like you have a lot more strength than I did. I could barely walk afterwards. like you're like, I just took a little from you. You're okay. Yeah, and then they sort of take off. Do you all have a tendency to get together? Like I don't know if you go to Domina or there's elsewhere when we may get all of you together.
Imagine it'd be Domina.
Yeah, probably would be Domina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shuffle along.
All right. We'll say everyone kind of makes their way to Domina at some point. There's some nights you're doing your own thing. Some nights you all get together for any number of reasons. Because this is your domain, and that means you do protect it. You are a part of one of the problems in this city. The Anarch population here is actually relatively powerful. The difficulties between like the Anarchs and the Camarilla are kind of quite a bit, but the Camarilla is trying to get a foundation back in this area and not doing quite as great of a job. But New Orleans kind of seems like a place that's more made for the Anarchs than anybody else. But you do have occasional like some problems with Camarilla and others. Let's get y'all in. You've got Maxine. You want to tell us what acts are going on as they come in?
Well, as they walk in, you're gonna see Miss Turbo up on the stage. Lovely young thing. Very dancer grace, long limbs, sort of that lad muscle. Very flexible, and her speciality is hoops. Specifically, she likes to take those hoops and light them on fire.
I know who you're basing this off of.
I don't know what you're talking about, Michael.
I miss her.
I know, me too. So of course everything is up to code here at Club Domina. We've got the requisite fire safety ready to go. But this is one of the big flashbang numbers of the evening. Because I mean, who doesn't like to stare at fire? That's just kind of how that works.
Fire and a pretty lady, yes.
Yeah, pretty much. So Turbo is up on stage doing her thing. Maxine occasionally does circuits on the floor, but for the most part she's got kind of her own private not like a box exactly, but sort of a manager's booth, where she can sort of keep an eye on the crowd. If someone gets rowdy, it's real easy for her to point to security and be like, no, he's out. Nah, watch that one.
All right, the two of you kind of enter in. You've got the music going. For some reason, I'm sure she could tell you I'm sure there's a whole bunch of songs where you're like, you're not allowed to use these overdone burlesque.
That song has been slutted out.
Songs I'm tired of hearing.
Dear God.
All right, I would say lately, there have been. You had some Camarilla kind of poking their heads into your domain, not much, but a couple people that know to look out for certain ones. There have been a few that have kind of been poking around in the last couple evenings.
There been any repeats? Anybody who's been stupid enough to show their face more than once?
Most of the people you've heard, the descriptions you got, Sabina Perez and Fayez Mukhtar seem to be the two. They run together quite a bit. They're kind of the street level, trying to work their way up into the Camarilla. They're the ones who are looking to kind of be muscle, in places.
Sabina Perez and
Fayez Mukhtar. They're in the relationship map area for the NPCs.
I
got him.
Yeah, I've also put them in the New Orleans NPCs.
Lovely.
They've been around, and your informants have kind of let you know, because they kind of know people to look out for, and you've got a lot of the Camarilla. If you happen to see these people, let us know.
Are they there tonight?
No, the thing is, they're not dumb enough to come into the club. But some of your people that you've got, because you're lean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the lean, there's some people who are and the Portillon. There's people that just kind of will let you know that they've been kind of poking around in the area, and you've actually got one of your informants. We will go with the name. Use my name generator. I hate coming up with names.
I feel that.
Renat Antovich kind of pokes his way, has come in and let you know. As the two of you come in, just walks up to Maxine. Goes, I've seen some poking around again the last couple, or a little bit earlier this evening. They're looking through a kind of in the back alleys, a few of the houses that are up for sale.
Are we aware who he's talking about?
Yeah, it's those two who keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, it's the same two from before, Sabina and Fayez.
Think they would know better than to keep showing up every couple of days.
I feel like we can excuse once, but
Starting to become
a few times.
It's when
rude.
you start excusing one that they start taking liberties with 2 and 3.
Yeah. Oh, I think we might need to take some steps to make this look a little more unappealing. Or at the very least, let them know that we are aware of the fact that they have suddenly become interested in our domain.
Have to send a message somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Really good at sending a message.
I know you are, Shug. We just need to be careful. If not careful, then subtle.
I don't do subtle very good.
I know you don't, honey.
These Camarilla folks,
Hmm.
you probably think they're going to cause long term.
Well, I mean, we've been an anarch-free city for I don't know, storyteller. How long have the anarchs kind of been running things around here?
The thing is, anarchs don't completely run things. The anarchs and the Camarilla both exist in places in the city. The Second Inquisition, like in several places, kind of hurt the anarchs in some respects more. But between the second that and Katrina, the anarchs managed to get a pretty good hold in the city. And plus, New Orleans has always been a little more going towards the anarchs than the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of the nature of it. In particular, they tend to get along better with the voodoo practitioners in Camarilla,
Mhm.
who often are like getting some of the Camarilla to understand that they are partners in the city and not necessarily just the overlords that anybody can do stuff with. So there has been for the past like 30 years a lot of enmity.
Mhm.
It's kind of a Cold War situation where people are for the most part supposed to stay within those areas that are. There's plenty of areas that are kind of a bit of both, but then when you get into Camarilla or Anarch domain, in particular, people tend to stay out or at least announce themselves. It's tense. Little fights and stuff have broken out. There have been small wars. Seems like too big of a word for them, but there have been conflicts.
And I'm assuming that Sabina and Fayez haven't actually been announcing themselves.
Nope. Because there are times there have been Camarilla come to like see the shows and stuff, and they'll let you know. It's a courtesy thing, and often it's like, who cares that much? I mean, yeah, you're free to, if your money spends as much as anybody.
Yeah, they're giving me their money. I don't really give a shit. It's the fact that they have the audacity to snoop through our territory and not announce themselves that really just gets my goat. Because that's just fucking rude.
They couldn't
So
even
I think
bother to say hello.
I think we need to make it abundantly clear that should they decide to come through, they might want to let us know that they're stopping in to take a visit. So,
Where
is
have they been hanging out? Have they been to like the same areas multiple times, or has it just been?
What we've seen them, they seem to be searching. They're looking more in nooks, crannies. They're trying to find things. Essentially, the abandoned houses are mostly the places they're looking.
well, Antovich, darling, should they come back through, we would like to be made aware. And I think it might behoove them to know that their rudeness just isn't appreciated. If they want to come through here, they need to talk to me first.
I'll keep an eye, but they something about them tells me not to hop up and say hello.
Oh no, you don't. I'm not asking you to cause a problem, dear. I'm just asking you to let them know that, well, we know, and let them know that if they want to come through, they need to, at the very least, stop by and say hello. It's only polite.
If I see them, I will let them know.
Wonderful. That is all I ask, really.
He goes, can I get a few drinks and then take off and see what I can find.
Yeah, you know how to get in touch with me, darling. Don't worry about it. But yeah, keep your eyes out.
All right.
Is this somebody that's familiar that knows of us, or do they just think we're just humans?
My guess is most of them don't, partly because of the masquerade. Because even anarchs know the masquerade is very much in their best interests.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know you're actually vampires, but probably thinks this is some sort of like organized crime thing going on.
And we're probably not going to dissuade them too much because it keeps people from asking questions.
Well, in that case, I will wait until he leaves, and then I'll kind of like turn and look towards the door and bring my famulus to me. Kind of like put out the kind of call, like Celeste and Maxine will have seen it 100 times. His eyes kind of like glaze over that kind of like predatory cat like yellow gleam.
Mhm.
And it says here that I can, you can probably make more sense of this. I can use feral whispers on my on my famulus. Um, feral whispers and animalism 2 for free
Okay.
on my famulus. I'd like to give my famulus a command to come and get me if any of our kind are seen wandering around this area again.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure of all the. I haven't like learned all the stuff of these specifics with. Do you have anything that lets you like? Do you see through its eyes at all or anything, or is it just?
As far as I'm aware, no. I think it's. I don't think it's anything quite like a D&D familiar. I think it's just a case of it's an animal that I tell like, okay, go and look at this place. And then if people show up here and stay for a prolonged period of time, come back and get me.
Okay. Yeah, I will say probably at higher levels you can do that. But yeah, it looks like right now, yeah, without use of feral commands, cool. Yeah,
And I'll use the Pharaoh Whisper too for free because I get to do that with my famulus anyway.
yeah. Go ahead and yeah, I think with that one, you don't have to persuade your familiar. I think you can just basically use it to talk. Go ahead and make a rouse roll to see if that brings up your hunger at all.
Rouse roll, okay. That's a 6.
You're good. Yeah, rouse is the basic. And if you use any of your disciplines, things along those lines. Though you should have, I think, just one hunger. Right now, you're.
I
Showing
do have 1 hunger.
Oh, when I opened up, I'm showing 2. Oh wait, there's a copy. Oh, I don't know why there's a copy of your thing. I will delete that. Okay, I don't know why that was there. Yeah, it basically it then it kind of like it starts going out and looking.
Okay, before it moves off, I'll give it like a kind of, scratch at the back of the head, one under the chin, and like, there, that's it, you're fucking done now. Go do it yourselves.
All right.
Go fucking do it.
And like he seems to think there's absolutely nothing weird about a bobcat randomly entering a club and jumping up into the table in front of him.
Listen,
just
as
immediately-
long as he doesn't come through the main door, send him through the back. We just that last time when he came in the middle of rehearsal, and that's all I ask, please.
Patience, not one for doors anyway. They'll probably find a window somewhere.
That's
Sorry,
fine.
she'll probably find a window somewhere.
No, that is a-okay, darling. We've got the damn fire escape up there. It shouldn't be that hard for her.
Celeste. Does Delphine know you're still around?
Yes.
Okay. Delphine kind of comes in. You see her at the bar, kind of grabbing a drink, and you see a couple of the regulars from. Do we have a name for the metaphysical shop yet?
I don't.
All right, that's fine. You see a couple of the regulars from the shop are like they've got a table down by the rest of them. Anything?
Yeah. I'm gonna say just quick excuse me to everybody I was sitting with and head on over to their table.
Celeste, it is great to see.
Delphine, long time no see. What brings you out this way?
Sometimes you just want to go out and enjoy yourself an evening.
Glad to hear that.
Kind of looks up into the fire dancer and goes, God, what I would give to be 30 years younger and have made much better choices when I was growing up.
I don't know. I've been thinking about learning it. I think I could work some flames into some of my readings a little bit better.
You want to do some tarot readings with fire coming out of your hands?
What can I say? I've been extra since the day you taught me.
Just be careful. Some of those things aren't particularly cheap. The good ones, the ones that like the tour. Like, I'm assuming you have a thing where probably for some people it's just the. Some people it's maybe the realer readings where you're using the math. And the other stuff might just be here's the basic. He was careful around the real ones because those things when they decide to go, that's fire hits them. They don't tend to do so well.
Promise to use caution if I ever try it.
Just kind of lean back and are most people just sort of settling in to chill and like
Okay.
enjoy the night, or are the three of you have anything you want to do?
I think with the sort of the lookout for the interlopers, that's kind of the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maxine is sort of generally doing the keeping an eye out on the club, making sure nobody gets out of hand, nobody does anything stupid.
All right. And Connell, are you
Yeah.
just grab a drink, or are you, or rather, yeah, up to you.
Yeah, Connell can eat food, but he only eats once a week, and that's when he goes to visit Mama Lenore, because she cooks all the time, and that's her love language. So he does that for her, but he doesn't eat any other time. No, mostly he'll be doing as much as this is a night where he doesn't have a shift. He is going to be kind of keeping an eye on the floor, making sure people are being respectful, and if he catches anybody trying to be maybe a bit handsy with any of the girls, then their hand will be out of view.
I'm assuming
And
that
like,
the. Oh, sorry.
Like the thing though is like because he's gangrel, like I looked up like some of the like possible physical effects that they have. So like I said, he does have even at like the best of times, he's got like a yellow kind of gleam to his eyes, and like very very Sabretooth from X-Men style, he does have like really profound pointed nails.
Okay.
So like when I say like he can put the hand out of commission, I mean like he'll grab it, like properly dig the claws in, like he'll put a hurting on folk.
Yeah. I'm assuming most of the performers know your Bobcat by now.
Yeah.
It's a parlor trick.
Yeah,
she's fairly well known.
Well, like one of the doors in the back open. You see one of the performers just kind of open it, and the Bobcat like rushes in and like makes its way straight to you. It kind of reaches up and it kind of gently grabs like your fingers in its hand and starts making its way towards the front door.
Okay. I'll just kind of shoot Maxine like a look like.
Okay. And Maxine will let the manager on duty know that she just needs to step out for a minute. Keep an eye out. Anyone gets handsy, you know the routine.
Yep.
Maxine
Once I
and
notice them
Celeste.
leaving, I'll just nice to see you tonight, Delphine. Now, if you must excuse me, it's time I make my leave. And
Maxine and Celeste would be really, really familiar at this point with Connell and his kind of mannerisms. He doesn't have many very definite body language triggers, but like as he's walking, he's like rolling his shoulders back, like getting loosened up just in case he's going to have to take somebody's face.
I've got to take a face. Yeah. So as you're kind of heading towards it, the door bursts open, and you actually see one of the bouncers going, "Hey!" And a woman, probably about 5'2", if you want to look on the main page for Vampire, comes in. She's a little bit pale, very like eyes very wide. It looks like she's been sleeping rough, or at least a few nights. Like the clothes themselves are sort of dirty and a little ragged. As she kind of comes in and then probably like basically bangs you straight into your chest. As it kind of hits, and she just kind of like looks back and like looks up at you, eyes wide, kind of scared. And give me a quick favor. Make what passes for perception?
What's the perception?
Yeah, you gotta remember on some of these from
What's
other
a
different
perception
games.
check?
Go and make a wits plus awareness roll.
All
we'll
of
have
us?
Connell, or just have Connell make it.
Wits plus awareness.
That makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am not good at those.
Oh dear. Oh, baby. Honey.
Oh, however, you did
Good
get
rolls.
yeah,
Three
you
successes.
rolled well though. 3 successes. That's gonna be enough. And you see, kind of coming across the street, you actually see um, Fayez and Sabina like running from sort of an alley as the door sort of shuts. And are we good to take about a maybe 10-minute bio break?
Lego.
Yeah, I can take a 10-minute break.
All right. We will be back in about 10 minutes. Y'all have yourselves a good one. Back soon.
All right.
Back.
Start that.
Woo.
And I'm going to take out the sound.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. So, as we had stopped, there was a woman who had rushed through and basically just collided. And Connell, there is a way at Kindred's, both the cold and the solid, that is a little different from a human. That when she hit you, you kind of felt that. Like there was just, it was like there wasn't the body heat you tend to expect on a person, and there was a little more solid than it appears she should have. And
Okay.
she,
I'm gonna very quickly. I
Do we recognize her?
yeah, that was what I
you
was.
have never seen her before in your life, and she's
Yeah,
just like wide-eyed and scared.
he's not focused on this. Oh, wide-eyed.
Help me, help me! They're after me! Oh my god, they're after me!
Come here, sugar. Come here.
I'm gonna push her aside and like stand, not like move towards Fayaz and the other one, but just kind of like stand there, eyeballing them very much in a know of you're gonna have to get past me.
Or do you open because the door is shut? Do you open the door to stare at them?
Oh yeah, I opened
Yeah.
the door and like they this is that beforehand my familiar came and got me. It's a way of like yeah there's people there, but I was just going to talk to them. Now somebody's actually saying like they're in my territory. They're in a gangrel's territory. They're trying to hurt people. Now he's like, yeah, now I know who you are. Like I have seen you now. That makes this an issue.
Okay. And Celeste and Maxine, what are you doing?
Maxine's trying to get this poor girl inside and out of sight of these fuckers who
Uh-huh.
are sniffing around.
Okay, so Maxine, you grab her hand.
Yeah, just like coax her. It's like, no, come here.
Her
sugar.
eyes like look at yours a little shocked at first, like you're.
Oh,
What?
it's froze.
I froze for a second.
God damn it, Michael!
Yeah, she just goes.
Michael!
Yeah, she just goes.
Oh,
Ooh.
motherfucker! You know what? We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Where did they come across you, baby?
I was hiding in some houses. Like, are you?
Shh,
And she kind of like she kind of does this, and like you see like a little fang. The fang kind of grows a bit.
Oh.
Maxine's gonna like take her face and like try to sort of like not cover her mouth, but like make it difficult for anybody else to potentially see what she just did.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm gonna need you to listen to me very carefully. There are certain things that we do not talk about in mixed company. Do you understand me?
what happened?
I don't know, but we're gonna figure that out. Right now, I want you to go. There is a gentleman upstairs. His name is Androvich. You're gonna tell him that you have my permission to go sit in my office, and you're gonna sit there until I come get you. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Go now.
I'm gonna kind of like turn my head a little bit to call back and be like, you're not going to hurt me. Do you understand?
Across the street.
No. And back in, just kind of like to where they are with the girl, just in case she like meets this guy Antovich, then like gets a wee bit hungry, so to speak.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, yeah, you don't hurt him.
Oh,
Like
her
that.
Antovich. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, he's like, all right, yeah, come with me. We'll put you in the office.
And then
And what's
Sure.
what's your name, honey?
And
Okay, Amanda. I imagine you're a little thirsty. Is that right? Okay.
just
Okay.
gnawing at me.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to put a lid on that right now. That is not something that I want you to focus on at the moment. We got bigger fish to fry. Do you understand? Now, if you hurt this gentleman here, we are going to have a serious problem. So I'm going to need you to stay calm and don't go anywhere.
Can I use my dominate to like make sure she won't rage out?
Mhm.
You're over here trying to be nice and give her the benefit of doubt, and it's like, nah, fuck you,
No.
sorcery.
It can be like I'm gonna be safe rather than sorry.
Yeah.
Go use
No,
compel.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'll use
Totally fair.
compel.
Totally fair.
All right. Two things.
So-
Make a rouse roll.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wait on the rouse roll simply because it may automatically raise your hunger.
Okay.
But I would say go ahead and make a. It'll be against a 4 or Oh no, it's just charisma plus dominate. It'll be against a 3. Or intelligence plus resolve. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah,
against
so
a
it's my charisma and dominate versus her intelligence and resolve. If I'm
Yeah,
reading
so
it
it's against a
correctly.
4, which I already put there. So you can just go
Okay.
ahead and make a roll on your. And then
Come on, baby.
afterwards, make a rouse check.
Okay. So charisma. Dominate?
Yeah, so you hit the little plus by dominate,
there.
and then grab the die by charisma, throw
There
it
you go.
into the chat.
That's cool. That lets you go from page to add them too.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so to tell me, or actually, do you want to, okay, do you want to,
Oh, no.
you could, it just means your hunger goes up. Do you want to spend a willpower to re-roll up to 3 of those dice?
So how does the willpower work?
Okay, so willpower. Now the thing is, since you rolled the rouse, I don't. It may not. You still notice where it says willpower. There's a little SP up in the
Yeah.
upper. If you, what happens if you click it? Do me a favor. Click it. What does it
Okay.
show?
No
Okay.
save dice. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, do us a favor again. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Make your discipline plus charisma roll. We're just going to do it to see if we need to if we end up re-rolling some stuff. Because then, if you want to, we can then have you re-roll willpower. Because we got your 2 successes. You can re-roll up to 3 dice that are not hunger dice. So just go ahead, re-roll it, and then we'll ignore what's on there. But if you want to do a re-roll, we can do that.
Okay. Let's just try it so we can learn some stuff too.
Okay, totally cool. So in this case, if you want to make a re-roll, if you click SP, it'll let you spend a willpower point to re-roll up to 3 dice. Now it should let you re-roll anything that's not a hunger dice, because like occasionally if you happen to get like critical success on your hunger dice, there's times you're gonna be like, I don't want critical success on my other ones, because it'll make things go kind of bad. So even successes can be re-rolled.
Okay.
So do you want to spend willpower to re-roll some dice?
I'm not. I'm gonna take the L on that one.
Okay, that's cool.
Gonna take the L.
Yeah, totally fine. But yeah, that's end up how it works. So basically, if you make the rouse check before it, because it goes back to your last roll,
Okay.
and
Got
you can't re-roll hunger. You can't also do it for. Yeah. So what do you say to her with your dominant?
I was going to say, you will not hurt him.
Kind of looks at you, and she's just a moment. She kind of breaks off and just goes, "Why would I hurt him?"
Celestia, I don't think she understands what's going on.
Yeah. We'll explain later. Just don't hurt anybody in the meantime.
All right. At the door, Sabina and Fea's approach, and they go, "Connell." Sabina's the one talking. I'm a
stand there. I'm eyeballing Sabine as she approaches, making it very clear that Fayez. I don't see him as a thing. I don't see him as a threat. Sabine, I'm paying attention to out of a kind of like it says like your kind of status goes down a point in other cities, meaning I go from influential to just respected. So I'm just keeping it as a point of, yeah, I respect her. You, I don't know. So you're nothing.
Yeah, Sabina just goes, "Connell."
Spain.
I'm assuming she's not.
If she's in my domain and she asks for help, and she's one of mine.
Oh, look at you, just all shiverish as fuck. You should know, there's a blood hunt called on her.
Let's get one thing straight here, okay? The last thing you're going to want to do is piss me off in my domain. And you're very, very fucking close to doing it, Sabine.
I'm just letting you know because, at least from where the Camarilla stands, she got made without any permission from the
Sorry,
prince.
you're using that word Camarilla as if it's got any kind of weight around here. Is that supposed to is it supposed to arouse some fear in me at all? Is it supposed to make me quiver in my boots that you're using that word? Because I'm really sorry to tell you, Sabine, don't think it's having the effect you're wanting it to.
As Fias gets a step forward, she just kind of puts a hand there, and she's like, her jaw sets. She just goes, I'm just saying that perhaps you wanted to come play for the winning team. She gets drained down to nothing. Ain't no one on our side gonna give a shit. She was made without permission, which means she's forfeit.
Well, does Fias kind of like go as if to move in like before she
He
puts
had
her
taken
hand out
like
to
a
him?
half step forward to come like at least like equal with her, and she's just.
I'm gonna just very, very sparingly glance at him and go, son, let me tell you one thing. I've put down people much older than you, and I would not question to do it again, even with your little bodyguard here. So how about you just back the fuck down right now before we have a real fucking issue?
Connell.
Make
No,
a make
let
an
him do it.
intimidate. Think of that might be a composure plus or
No, that was kind
make
of
it
fabulous.
make it strength plus intimidate.
That was kind of fabulous, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
Strength plus intimidate, yeah?
Yeah.
come on, baby.
We'll
Come on.
use your bigness.
Come on.
Oh, that's a lot of dice.
Come on, Bubba. Get him.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Oh.
I want to re-roll that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, for his it would be actually I can double check what it would be for.
Mother trucker.
Yeah, I know, man. Those dice did not go well for me at all.
Wait. Can I help him? Can I help action? Is that a thing that's allowed?
I believe. Let me double check because
I'll just take the re-roll. It's fine. I can re-roll 3 of them, right?
yeah, you
but-
use if you spend a willpower point, it'll let you reroll 3 of them.
One of them has an Ankh on it. What does the Ankh mean?
Ankh is a success. Leave that one.
Right, okay, cool.
So Ankh is a success. Ankh with 2 like little stars is a possible critical.
Ugh.
Yeah, 2 successes. He just kind of takes a step forward from her hand and just goes, I know who the fuck you think. But I burned a lot. Fuckers like you. At which point, behind us, Sabina just goes, we're on their turf.
So he says he's burned people alive. Okay, so at this point, Connell's just like, oh, a bully for you, big lad. Set fire at some people and you heard them scream. You ever done it to whole villages? Heard people run screaming to an invisible man in the sky begging for help and it's not fucking coming for them. You back the fuck away from me, boy. Before I make sure you never quite make it to being a man. Sabine, get your pup back.
Yeah, he just kind of smiles, and Sabine actually just kind of like pushes him back a little bit, and she goes, "Just saying, you want a little bit of power? Drain her dry. Come talk to us. The Anarchs may not love you for it, but us, we could use you."
Love the chatting, Sabine. Make sure you don't trip on the way out.
And the 2 of them they keep kind of looking back, but they walk back across the street, down an alley, and away.
Hold on before they go much farther. Can Maxine walk out? Sabina Sugar.
Yes,
Now.
Maxie.
You know my club is open to all types. That's been understood, correct?
Yeah.
Well, In the future, I think it's only polite that if you're going to come poking around in my area on my property, that you come through the front door and you say hello. Do we have an understanding?
We do. The only
Atta
reason
girl.
I had to poke around is well in your club right now.
Well,
Do with her as you wish. Bon appetit. Hope to hear from you.
you just keep holding your breath, honey.
And heads her way into but basically with them into the darkness.
Diaz is now on my radar, by the way, guys. Like, that
I'm
fucker is dying. I'm gonna murk that motherfucker.
gonna murk him. Connell sugar. What do they want?
Apparently, the Camarilla has a blood hunt on the girl.
Yeah, Bloodhound
They want-
means Diablerie is completely open, which means if you Diablerize someone,
Yeah.
I mean, if they happen to be higher level or higher generation, you go up a generation. But even if not, there's like a lot of power, and there's nothing tastes quite like vampire. Like it's the one time in the Camarilla where it's allowed.
Mhm.
And Anarchs tend to frown on it, partly because Camarilla used that against Anarchs.
Mhm.
But basically, it sounds like someone made her without permission from the prince, which is an automatic blood.
Mhm.
I can hear. I'll be right back.
They're
Well,
trying to use her as a way to sway me over.
and what are your feelings on that?
Not much one for seeing people as sport, Maxine.
Hmm.
Camarilla can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason I like keeping you around. Can we go make sure this poor thing doesn't eat Antovich?
Yes, please. Although I'm
Uh,
still concerned they're going to be running around like rats in our alleyways.
Well, we've got an eye out with Antovich and Connell's fuzzy little friend. So at the very least, they know not to come sniffing around without saying hello first.
Yeah, I'll say this to Mike. I'll say this to Michael. I'm gonna, again turn to Pushin and be like, you follow them. You make sure that if they start hanging around any particular like people for a prolonged period of time again, you come right back and get me.
Okay.
Send Pushin away. But yeah, he's very very like his hands are like twitching. He's like running his claws along his fingertips. He's like,
Yeah. Maxine ain't happy right now.
Are you using your Feral Whispers to talk to?
yeah. So again, I'll be again giving Pushin a command.
Make a rouse roll. Do me a favor. In your notes, can you put the name so I'll remember it?
Yeah. We're in notes.
Yeah, on one of your tabs has got notes. If you just want to make a note, like under
I'll put how it's pronounced.
Pushin.
It's Pushin.
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 Pushin. Okay.
It's kind of like that kind of like it's PU, but it's like Q PIU, like that kind of weird little half. Yeah.
Okay. Or in American accent, Pushin.
Pushin.
Yeah, well, that's the whole cat pushing thing that comes from the Irish term. So that's where pushing.
That's how Maxine says the damn name because this is the accent she's got. God damn it.
Go ahead, make your rouse roll. Yeah.
Oh, that's a hunger up.
But yeah, basically
that fits in.
Pushin heads out and goes to check. When y'all head up, you have in there Antovich is sort of sitting near the door as it kind of opens. It's like she's just sitting in the chair staring in the middle distance.
That seems about right. Antovich, honey, thank you. Go
Well,
on.
All right, not a problem. And kind of heads out.
And she's just like having a moment. Maxine's gonna go up and sort of crouch in front of her, which is interesting to do in 6-inch platform heels. But like walks down and crouches like she's wearing tenny flats. Amanda,
Yeah.
you know those two?
Never seen them before. I mean, I saw them sneaking around one of the places I was staying. I woke up like this, and and she kind of like pushes back her sleeve a bit, and you actually see like a burn patch on her arm. She goes, like the sun was coming up, and I felt so tired. That happened, and I just went into a basement. I can't. There's not a thing, right?
Is it possible to tell what kind of clan someone is? Like what form of kindred they are?
If you know their disciplines, it's a little easier. There's also, it feels like she was just made and abandoned, which means it's harder. It's going to be harder to tell. The things that she has an affinity for can kind of put there, but you need to discover what that is.
Yeah.
The thing is, there are certain things that there's most disciplines kind of jump clans. Like it's possible to learn something outside of your clan, but it often requires actually tasting a bit of blood from someone outside of your clan and being taught.
It's more the fact that she was saying also she was turned then abandoned. That's that's how gangrels work. Like they bite, they turn, then they leave them to survive or fail on their own. Yeah. So if she's saying that, he's going to be kind of like, trying to look for any kind of telltale signs.
I will say that the things that tend to attract gangrel to turn people,
yeah, it doesn't really register here.
Yeah, like those are more like outdoorsy, or the like. There's a ruggedness often to gangrel. This is, she like doesn't seem like she's done a whole lot of physical work.
Do you remember what happened before you woke up?
There was a bunch of parades. My family came here. We were visiting. I was out drinking and I got really fucking drunk, and then woke up and it was an entire day had passed.
Amanda, honey, do you remember anybody who was real interested in making sure that you kept drinking?
I mean, there's a lot of people. I got away from the security details as I wanted to actually, enjoy New Orleans.
Security detail. Who are your family?
My dad is. He doesn't like it when I let people know this, but Representative Guy Stahl.
Oh.
Or Stendhal.
As in representative of.
Not from Louisiana. He's actually Kentucky, a House of Representative person. He's one you've heard. He's been making some waves, in the House of Representatives.
Daughter of the.
I'm gonna look at Max here on this one. Like, you mind explaining to me if this is some kind of big deal or not?
This, yeah.
She's kind of important.
She's the daughter of a not a king. That would kind of be like the president.
Like a lord, maybe?
Something like that. But her daddy is well known, and well, this is a problem.
If word gets out about her, they'll come sniffing around here looking for the rest of us.
Well, unless they think she's dead, which.
Well, they might still tear it apart.
To be fair, she is. Amanda. I'm just gonna give you point of fact right now. You are dead. Manner of speaking.
Congrats.
She's kind of looks at Celeste like, fuck.
One of those audible eye rolls.
She goes, I figured out, because with the fangs and the sunlight, like I figured that, but This isn't a real. This can't be a real. This is not a real thing.
Maxine's gonna pop her fangs out.
I'll do the same.
just gonna cheese really hard with my hands.
I love the idea of acting like nah, sorry, and then it's just like
Do it friendlier.
So I do
less, maybe just.
Yeah. Dial it back to like a 6, honey. So here's the thing. Vampire isn't exactly the term that we would use. There are too many odd pop culture connotations. What you're going to want to call yourself is kindred.
Okay. Can I just get back to my family?
That's not gonna be a possibility anymore, I'm afraid.
That's the problem, dear.
No. My dad has a lot of power. Like he's.
No. Your daddy is plenty powerful. The issue here is so are the people that are looking for you.
Much stronger than your father, his security detail.
Connell's going to kind of eventually kind of snap away from the whole, trying to, tell the truth at easy and just go, basically, there's a load of people who are going to be wanting to kill you and suck you dry in order to get power from it.
That's pretty much the long and short of it, dear. Amanda, there's a lot that you need to come to understand very quickly. Ignorance is not an excuse in this culture. Ignorance will likely get you drained.
I didn't do anything.
I know you didn't, baby. It ain't your fault. Whoever did this to you is a sumbitch, and I'm just going to tell you that right now. But that doesn't make any difference because they're not looking for them. They're looking for you. And if you go back to that family of yours, they're going to be looking for them too.
If we find who did this,
it's possible.
I mean, is there a way to go back?
No, there is no way to go back. This is it. Very few of us get to make this choice. And unfortunately, that falls to you. You didn't get to choose this, but you get to choose what you do with it. You can either whimper and whine and eventually fade away into nothingness with it, or you can embrace it. You can choose to make something of it.
You're going to be strong, I'll tell you that much. Now, some of us are just strong in body, like Connell here is. Some of us are very strong and charismatic, like myself. And some of us.
Then there's Celeste.
And then there's Celeste.
And then there's Celeste here. And does not say anything else. Because Maxine is the worst.
I'm awesome too.
Arnold's very weary about wavering about magic because of his pagan beliefs and such. So he does know Celeste is strong, but he's like, if I talk about magic hits me, so I don't mention it.
Also, I feel like we all kind of know that if we start throwing around magic right now, this poor kid might explode.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's what? Yeah, that's the thing. Never mind. Look.
So one reason I didn't fight back on that. I was getting ready to quit back, but no, I'm not gonna.
One at a time.
Magic, werewolves, ghosts, changelings. We're not going to mention. Wait, what? Never mind.
Nope.
We don't need to go into ins and outs about who is what and what is good at what. All right. Here's what you do need to know. You want to, and he's getting kind of brutal honest, like the gangrel side is coming out. He's like, if you want to go back to your family, we won't stop you. We won't stop you going back. But I'll tell you right now, you go back to your family the way you are, not knowing how to control any of it. If you are lucky enough to reach your family, you'll kill them. And you'll drink from them. And it'll feel fantastic when you do. You'll enjoy it. and then begging and pleading and crying as to why you're doing this, that will register as nothing to you, because in reality, that's what they are to you now. They're nothing, and they have to be nothing. Because if there's even a part of them that registers as something right now to you, that doesn't make them family. That makes them prey.
They're food, baby. That's what they are.
We all have to
Doesn't
come to
matter.
that.
How much you care about them. When you're around them, it will be horrible.
I can feel it inside.
We all do. Every single day. Probably sleeping for 1,000 years.
Yeah, Connell's got an interesting story. You should ask him about it sometime. It's actually quite amusing. You ever see? Oh, I should. No, I'm not going to give him my cell phone. That was terrible. No, never mind. That was frustrating.
Try
as
a
all hell.
watch next time. That might.
It's true. No.
How is this the time? There's no stars. Where are the stars?
What the fuck?
Why is it's fucking moving? It's just a bug. Like, do I get to kill this? Like,
No, Amanda, baby. The thing is, not only do you have to worry about your own willpower and your own self-control when you're around people that still have living, beating hearts, but those people that want to go after you, they will use everything that they can to get you to come to them. So it is truly better if your family thinks that you wandered off. Terrible things happen in this city all the time, and I hate to say it, but you might need to lean into that.
so I know that I've got, I have my own version of contacts that's 1 point higher than our kind of domain one. Could I maybe try and, would it be possible to have like a kind of hook in with like a local morgue or something, try and find a body similar size, similar shape kind of thing?
Ooh.
Because then I can just walk out into the swamp.
Yeah, is that what you want to make your contact? Because you can decide what you want your contact to be. Something like influence.
Yeah. So somebody within like a local morgue or something like that.
Really smart.
That's good.
I like
But
that.
like
Good job, Bran.
but not to take away from our kind of like domain contact. I do have my own contact that comes with my status. So
yeah, I would make a note then that, because like when you have a contact, like a 2 is a 1 contact to do something useful for you. Something like that could be a thing. You've got some like a medical examiner or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'll then say I'll then turn to Maxine and be like, once you get her settled, get her clothes. I'll need all of them. I've got a friend who's a doctor.
That'll.
I'll make sure it looks like she wandered into the swamps.
I can show you where to go.
Do you have a name you want to go for yours, or do you want me to?
Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Dr. Wow, see now that I'm saying myself,
if you're ever
doctor
not
names,
sure,
doctor names.
I use name generators like crazy. Like I just
I've got no.
Yeah, just go for that. Just go for that. Somebody he'd be like on first name terms with.
Yeah, Dr. Anish Gotra. One nice thing about this is it gives like a variety of it. Like it basically chooses sort of at random from a ton.
So multiple ethnicities and stuff.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a lot of white people. It's not going to be all white people. Dr.
Anish.
I hope not. We're in fucking New Orleans.
That's. I was going to say. I love how all the humans that he has actual contact with are all women.
Yeah. Yeah, you will notice most of the vampires, almost all the vampires, are not white.
Goddamn right.
Because I looked at the demographics in New Orleans. I'm like, yeah, not tons of white people here.
Connell over here is whiter than white. He's white enough for the entirety of New Orleans.
Yeah, Dr. Anish is Connell. Do you call him or do you visit or what do you do?
Oh, he walks. He will go visit. He does not call.
Just put his phone number in my
No, yeah, I was gonna say we need to get her settled first.
Yeah. So instead of Connell's going there, what are the two of you doing?
Yeah, Maxine's gonna give this girl the rundown.
Uh-huh.
I would usually have a speech for this, but yeah. All right, we're gonna do this on the fly. So Amanda, I need you to understand a couple of things. Like I said, it's not vampires, it's kindred. Within the kindred, there are 13 clans. Clan is like your kin. Folks you share blood with, folks you share abilities with, and
But
everybody's
what
gonna
makes you you, your type of
be.
kindred, whatever that may be.
And that's gonna be different things for different kindred. I myself am particularly good at charming and getting my way. Celeste is also quite charming in her own way, but her blood affords her certain special abilities. Now we can go into that later. I think that might be a little much for you to handle right now. But a lot of what you know about our kind from the media and from pop culture generally true. Sunlight, as you've unfortunately come across, bad. Stakes, unfortunately, bad. Won't kill you outright, depending on your particular weaknesses, but we're not going to test that out because that's annoying. Someone takes your head off, you're done. But that goes for just about anything that's walking around on this God's green earth.
Silver, holy water, those kinds of things can only work on some kindred.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those will guard that secret with their lives.
And Celeste, you used to be part of a pretty strict hierarchy. There are certain things you just kind of learn from those. A blood hunt that hasn't been announced is the kind of thing that probably needs to be sent up the line towards the people that are a bit more in charge of the anarchy, because that is the kind of thing that normally they let anarchs know. Partly, but they may hide it if they think the anarchs may hide them. But the Camarilla is always trying to poach some people from them, and a blood hunt is an easy way to do that. Particularly because there's a lot of thin bloods, and thin bloods could, like, she seems like she's low generation, or rather a high generation technically. Thin bloods can kind of move themselves from being on the cusp between vampire and human up there, and most thin bloods are part of the anarch. So it is a way that they poach when that happens. The fact that this wasn't more fully announced feels.
The fact that this is the first we've heard of it and we don't know her face at all. Celeste, would you be able to send a tickle up the line, as it were?
Yeah. You don't think they were lying about the blood hunt as an excuse, were you?
They lie about a lot of things. So, Amanda, I'm sorry to say, but for now, we're going to have to keep you laid low.
I'm sorry, I'm just really thirsty.
Okay. We need to get her something to eat.
Someone.
Or someone.
Go grab one of the guys downstairs for her.
Yeah, you got any of your herd here, baby?
Excuse me, you look like a snack.
Look at smell.
You just look like a sexy snack.
I already took a fair amount from my regular, and I would rather not bury that hatchet.
I will see what I can do. Just heads up, I don't know any of your familiar or your regular patrons here, so I'm just gonna...
Y'all have been around enough. You probably know
Okay.
some of them, because we can also kind of assume this is partially heard from, like if you want to use the one for the week from your herd for the whole coterie, because it'll definitely include people here as well.
That's gonna be the safest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta go down and grab someone.
Yeah, I will go downstairs and
Mm-hmm.
grab someone.
Yeah, it makes you can use the point of herd to do this without like having to make a roll.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like it's one of those things where like getting someone to go into another room with you at a burlesque club. It's not the hardest thing in the world.
I'll bat my eyelashes for it.
Yeah.
Um,
The person you've got kind of are you taking them up to the office?
Yeah.
Is Maxine still in there as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Person you brought like male, female,
Probably-
non-binary.
I'll probably go look for a male who seems kind of charmed by the area and charmed by everything he's saying, and
Yeah, you just see one
ask
of
him
those
if he'd like to go to a more private room and
hell
pull him
yeah.
upstairs.
Hell yeah, that's true what
Oh
they
my
say about
God,
New Orleans.
Please tell me he's a frat boy.
No, that is true what they say about New Orleans. This is great, y'all.
He's got Delta Sigma. What the fuck?
Yo, Sigma Phi forever. Woo!
Sigma Phi, fuck you, wanker, cunt stain, asshole.
This was just trying to I'm going to kill him
Frat
myself.
boys. I hate them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know, me too.
for
this
the
is
new
totally radical. Sigma Phi, fuck up.
Shut up.
Gotta save him for Amanda. Gotta save him for Amanda.
It's funny. Laurel knows when I was a bouncer at C Street every Wednesday, the fraternities and sororities would run out the place. The one time I thought I'd be able to like kick some people out, they broke like a plant upstairs, like one of those big things. I've never seen people more all over themselves to get shit fixed before because they didn't want to lose the place. I wanted to kick people out.
The problem is we are Michael and I live in a college town, and while yes, you have the occasional shit stain, I feel like the vast majority of them have learned that you don't fuck around where you eat.
Yeah.
So they're actually really polite.
And
Especially if they're regulars to that spot.
Literally every Wednesday night was a fraternity and sorority.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll say they come to stand up every once in a while. Like you get someone try that frat boy humor, and then leave is you've never seen people leave a club more quick after.
Aw.
It's beautiful because they
tail between the legs.
Oh, if I punch down, the audience hates me.
I've
Weird.
seen I've got family all over America, so there's been times I've been over and my older cousin, he was part of the frat life. I'm not going to say which one, but he was part of the frat life. I'm mainly not saying which one because I can't fucking remember which one. Delta, Pi, Gamma, Chimichanga, something like that. And there was some of them were decent, the kind of guys you could just have a pint with and it was fucking good. Then there was always these ones the cap backwards, oh, party time means t-shirts off.
Some Animal House bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Erotic reason, bro, let's go do some shots. Okay, put top. Why? And they're like, hey, dude, you need to take your top off. You want a shot? And I'm like, no, I fucking don't. I've got a shot glass and I've got my top on. Now give me the fucking fireball. I'm like, no man, top's off.
Yo man, top's off.
I will fucking wreck your shit, you sweaty wet wipe.
Top's off, fire down.
Sweaty Willy.
We also live where there is the single biggest fraternity sorority community in the country.
Yeah, we're what are we the number 2 party fucking city in Illinois?
It used to be.
There's a list.
I dated someone who went to Southern, and they used to shut down because of the parties there over Halloween.
It's bad.
But
anyway,
no. Yeah.
Yes. Any hoozle.
Any hoozle. Yo, man, this is great. Walks in and goes. Hey.
I'll lock the door behind me as I
would like to activate awe.
Go ahead and make your roll, then make the rouse check afterwards.
Okay. I think. Oh, do I know? I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah. For awe, if you click on the little red dot under awe, it'll pop up the information.
I got it.
Yeah, so if you ever want to check it, you click on the red dot, it'll open up for you. Yeah, manipulation plus presence versus composure plus intelligence. That's going to be a 3. This is not the smartest of people.
Okay, so I've got the plus sign on presence, and then I just drag manipulation.
Yeah, is that what it says? Manipulation. Yeah, for manipulation plus presence.
Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, that's more than a success. Then go ahead and make a rouse check. Oh, little hunger. Actually, add the presence rated to any skill roll involving persuasion or performance or other charisma. Anyone aware they're being affected can. Okay, well, yeah, we'll just this will work for this. You just want him to kind of, I'm assuming, be a little more quiet.
Yeah, he needs to shut up.
All right. Do you walk her through not killing him?
Yes.
All right. You kind of like walk her through as she takes that drink, and like she's like, as she goes, you see him get to the point where he's starting to go paler than his.
Amanda, stop.
Plus, what do you do?
I'm gonna just watch.
And
You
like,
watch the
well,
Maxine,
and
what do you do?
Maxine's like close, like watching her do this.
Mm-hmm.
And she keeps like one hand kind of like on her shoulder. If it gets bad, she's gonna grab the back of her neck and
Right.
scruff her
Yeah, just
like a cat.
It's like, and she's like, and then there's just this moment where, and then like she kind of stops fighting. Celeste, like, I just
Get this bitch a bucket of popcorn.
Yeah, then she's just like, and he's just like, he's just like on the ground, hell yeah. And she appears like she seems a little more steady on her feet at this point. Connell. Initiatives work. He works nights, often kind of very late. Kind of head in, and he's down there. He's got like music playing and working on like doing a autopsy.
Right. I'm just gonna walk in, very, very much like, you know, he's someone that Connell knows, but not to the point of where he really cares if he's around or not. So it doesn't really do many of the, hello there, how's your father? He doesn't do that kind of thing. He just walks in like, I need a body.
Jesus Christ, man! Takes out the earphones, goes, knock or something. Okay, hey man, what?
I need a body.
All right, one of your okay.
I love him so much.
Got any specifics?
I'll give a description of the girl. As long as it has dark hair and it's about this height, it shouldn't worry too much. There's going to be a whole load of alligator maintenance in.
Okay. I'm not asking anything.
That would be advisable.
Kind of goes through, and they're sort of like the poppers, the ones that are good, that are not claimed, that have been there for a bit, and just kind of goes through these big things and pulls out
any that you have any records of having a high alcohol content in their blood would be beneficial.
All right, it kind of goes through, and there's like a whole like row of lockers. Eventually, pulls out someone like they don't look alike, but they'd be put into the same police lineup, and depending on what happens. He goes, yeah, depending on what happens, no one may know that they don't look all that much. Close enough. He goes, this kind of what you're looking for?
Kind of look at the face mostly, and I'm trying to kind of gauge if I was to convince an alligator to start at the head, would it make a difference? And then be like, yeah, that one will do.
Chomp.
All right, yeah, this one was just gonna, probably get burnt anyway. Yeah, not a problem, man.
You're gonna meet me at the edge of the bayou with this in about.
Oh man, okay.
We'll call it 2 hours from now.
All right, yeah. See you.
I don't do it as like 2 hours that good for you. I say like it's 2 hours from now. I nod and then I turn and leave.
All right. Just kind of leave. He's like, it's like the camera kind of sits behind it. And goes, "How fucking bayous out there, man." He'll end up meeting you out there with the body in the truck.
And by that, all I'll be doing is going back, grabbing this girl's clothes, putting on.
We'll get her something.
I'll grab some stuff for on the way back, like sweatpants, joggers, whatever you call them in America, a hoodie, things like that until like these guys can get her sorted with some better get up.
All right. Yeah, you manage to get to, then you drop off the body with her stuff into a place where it's going to get eaten
Yeah.
enough that.
Then I get her clothes. I'll take it to the bayou, and then when I'm there, I'm gonna. So I can use animalism
Mhm.
to kind of try and can I use animalism to try and kind of hey fancy chomping on this face for me for 2 minutes.
Hey, you.
You feel
Sammy.
hungry, little alligator? Yeah, with feral whispers, if you want to make a manipulation plus animalism to kind of make it
Nom nom nom.
do
Can
exactly
I,
what you want.
Before when he came back to get the clothes,
Uh-huh.
can I make sure he takes her cell phone too? Because I know he wouldn't remember that,
Yeah,
and I'll make sure her phone goes with
Ooh.
her.
yeah. It's not hard to get an alligator. That's I'll say 2. It's only going to be a difficulty 2 to do that. Yeah,
I'll
not a
have got
problem.
2 on it, so
Yeah. The
Jeez.
alligators are not hard to want to feed. Make your rouse roll.
rouse. Oh, I'm
Right.
good. All right.
No extra hunger. Yeah, and then you kind of watch like alligators come out like that. There's not going to be a lot left. There will be some clothing and some other stuff, but they're not going to probably find enough of the body to actually check.
Okay. And then at that point, I'll just go back to the dog and just kind of come in and just kind of nod like, yeah, it's done.
All right. Look, are we probably at a pretty good place to go ahead and end for this week?
I'm good here. I'm also good to continue. I'm up for whatever
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah,
wants.
my thing is for me about 10 o'clock or maybe 10:30 is about the latest I can usually go because I get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Because he's a
Okay.
teacher.
Yeah, I'm a teacher,
Ah,
so
yeah.
yeah, I'm up early enough that I go too late. It's
I
gonna
will
get rough.
I will say that with the feeding, Maxine will have explained the details of how to ensure that you do not kill and explain why that is important unless it is truly dire straits. Because the thing that happens, baby, you know what you're feeling right now. This hurt, and not just the hunger, but I'm talking the hurt. I know you're missing your family right now, aren't you? You want to see you got family, you got your daddy. Who else you got?
Have a fiance?
Yeah. You know, that feeling when you ain't seen your man in a while and it just kind of aches. You want to hold on to that for as long as you can. And when you're like us, slaking that hunger is going to make that ache fade, but you're also going to lose yourself. So, we're just going to have to be mindful of that for a while. Good girl.
If y'all want to go in your inventory, that normally it'll be like 2 XP, but since we had about half the session here, we were actually able to kind of get in the character stuff. We'll have 1 XP today. And I said it'll normally be told. So it says experience obtained. You want to go ahead and put a 1 there.
Where's
hit
this?
the wrong
Where's this?
thing.
In inventory.
Inventory.
Ah, 1.
Experience obtained. 1. Maybe. Do the thing.
Yeah, so 1 today. Normally it'll be 2. As we go through, so then you'll have several sessions. You'll be able to spend that on stuff.
Oh.
All right. If y'all want to tell people where we can find you, we can go through in the order we've got.
On the Zoom chat.
Yep.
Hi, ladies and germs, darlings and degenerates. My name is Laura Tutu, aka Tutu Who, on TikTok and Twitter. No, that's a lie. TikTok and Instagram. Laura Tutu, Laura_Tutu on Twitter. I make a lot of D&D content and currently making a lot of Vampire the Masquerade content because I have realized how much I love this game. and learning a new dice system. Hooray! You'll actually be able to see myself and Bran and Hallie tomorrow playing some D&D, but I'll let Bran talk about that because it's his game. But yeah, thanks for tuning in for our first episode of New Orleans by Night.
Hey. Hi, I'm Hallie. Jalapeno on most socials, or Hey Jalapeno if it's not jalapeno there. I mostly do TTRPG stuff or video games as well. I'm actually working on a Vampire the Masquerade game jam.
Yeah.
So super excited about that. Laura already mentioned To the Skies. Saturday, there is a huge charity stream going on at the show as a Mimic. It is a 24-hour charity stream with a lot of D&D TikTokers.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be in the Kids on Brooms section. It's a really cute little game, and I'm very excited to play it.
Hello there, folks. My name is Bran. I go by most things as either a Son of Asgard, where I am D&D TikTok's official dad.
You're old,
Your old dad. Most of my experience is in D&D, but this is my first kind of step into the Beggar Talk area, and I'm very much enjoying it so far. So yeah, much like Laura said, you're going to see a lot of D&D stuff on my side of things, but you're going to start seeing more Vampire the Masquerade stuff as I start to take that foray into Beggar Talk. I have been DMing quite a lot for the past year. I have my own channel, which is twitch.tv/Asgard's D&D Adventures, where you can see a whole load of D&D campaigns set in my homebrew world. And yet tomorrow we do usually have a game every Wednesday, which does feature Laura and Hallie here. Whether it goes ahead tomorrow is kind of 50-50 right now, because as was mentioned, my wife is about to pop. So we have no idea when that's going to be. It's going to be some point soon, though. I estimate within the next week. Is that they're going to pop. So but if you do want to come and check out any of my stuff, do just go to twitch.tv/Asgard's D&D Adventures, or on TikTok you can find me under @SonOfAsgard, and I have a link tree there. You can go and find all my socials there.
All right, I'm Michael. I am Improv GM on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok, and Confessions of Improv GM on YouTube. On TikTok, I do non-D&D role-playing content, and I am a teacher, so I stick with stuff that will not be trouble. But I also, on Sundays, I run a Masks game that is on Twitch channel at 7 o'clock, and run other stuff here and there. Y'all have a great evening. We'll catch you later.